policy or something like that. That means you need to go to your BIOS and found the option which name is secure boot. You need to disable the secure boot option. After that, boot to your host operating system. Again, you must launch this command, bcd edit set the singing on, and after that, if it will be success, you will see the message that this operation was completed successfully. After that, the first step of our host system preparation is finished. So we can close our command line and go to the next step. On the executable file, we need to press right mouse button and go to the properties. In the properties, we need to switch on the digital signatures, where we can see two of our certificates. So we will select our first certificate and double click the mouse button on it, and we will see details of those digital signatures. So we will click on the view certificate, after the install certificate, and we must choose where we need to install this certificate. We will choose our local PC, not the current user, on the PC we will install it, press next, and select additional storage, additional certificate storage, click here, and in those lists and those lists of the files, those lists of the certificate storage, we need to choose the certificate storage which name is trusted root certification authorities. After we see it, click OK, click next, and the same operation we must do with the second certificate. So we click the details, view certificate, install certificate, current PC, not the current user. Click next, select the storage, select trusted root certification authorities, click OK, next, and everything is OK. So after that, the second step was finished and we are ready to install our software. So just double click on the executable file, click next, next, yes, install. So the installation process is pretty simple and it takes around 5, 7, 10 seconds depending on your hardware. And we will see now that everything was finished, and we can click the finish button, and now we see our anti-detect main menu. After we finish the installation of the anti-detect, we need to create platform for installing our mothership system. How can we do it? Just in the main menu of the anti-detect, click new button, and now we need to choose the name for our
trên các sếp ngọ chợ Khâm Thiên, bánh nước là nghề tay trái, còn bánh phở là nghề thâm niên. Sáng bắt thức dậy, bình minh nó lách vào tường ngõ, đang chiếu vào trường khoan cắt bê tông và số điện thoại người ta cho, xen lẫn với liều lo của chim hót, bíp bíp của Honda, xinh xinh của tàu sắt, tít mẹ của thợ xây nhà nên xe đông nhất. Bà lấy ví thời mà ông còn sống, nhìn vào bàn thờ mồm lẩm bẩm, hôm nay ngày của ông nên 20.000 tiền hoa hồng, 70.000 năm quả cam, thêm 5.000 tiền lá chanh, còn bà mua gà từ sáng. 20.000 tiền hoa hồng, 70.000 năm quả cam, bà cứ nhầm đi nhầm lại suốt từ sáng. Mâm cơm 4 người, bà thích thế, khói nhang cả phòng, bà thích thế. Thằng cháu hiếu động, hết nói chuyện phim tivi đến nhảy lên lưng bà thích thế. Khi mà trời đã tối, nhang thì cũng đã tàn yên, sau là khay nước yên trước lào tiền lãng. Bà thích đi đường Văn Chương, đâm ngang sang Tôn Đức, thang đi thẳng rồi vòng lại vì điện biên phủ đường thường vắng, cây cổ thụ và vườn hoa. Bà nhớ tên tất cả, sơ chai thủy tinh coca, này chai nhựa ở trên giá, thật gánh nước bà ngồi xuống. Yên bình ở trong tim, trước mắt bà là Nam nằm tất cắt keo trên Lenin.
BTX, found this option and turn it to enable. After that, just reboot, boot in your host operating system, and you will be able to virtualize 64-bit systems. So click next, And now we need to choose the memory size.
Áo đồng phục vật lên bàn, mồ hôi đầm đìa. Cậu trên lên tầng thượng, lấy đôi bàn răng ngắm nghía. Hà Nội đang mùa bão, may mà cậu kịp mang giày phơi khô, ra giày đen ra hơi thô kệ. Dọn tại chỗ lẹt vào phòng anh trai, lấy gôm tóc cậu vuốt ngược, miệng lý nha lý nhí học thuộc lời cậu viết trước, dẫn dắt rồi hỏi han, thỉnh thoảng cười cho tự nhiên. Sau khi xong xuôi mới đến tỏ tình trực tiếp. Chuyển cảnh, tim cậu đang đập thình thịch, chờ cô bé đầu ngón cắt linh mà cứ như xem phim kịch tính. Tự nhiên bốp một phát vào lưng, giật mình quay ra, cô bé cười như thiên thần, mặt cậu nhìn như thầy ma. Não cậu đơ, miệng cậu cứng, giọng cậu nghẹn còn mặt thì sưng, dăm 30 dòng học được trong đầu, bây giờ thì có mà dùng mà. Kể ra cũng kỳ lạ, cô bé dối vô cớ nhiều hơn bình thường dù cậu không làm gì cả. Họ đi ra vườn hoa, gió này lộng đường trần, phù cô im lặng cậu bối rối làm sao để dẫn cậu thần chú. Nhưng cái gì đến thì cũng sẽ đến, hít vào, thở ra anh thích em. Lời cậu nói tôi chậm tất cả, với tay ra nắm tay cô bé rụt tay ra sau đèn đỏ đường vào mặt hai người. Trông chẳng khác gì nhau, cô bé nhìn sang bụi cây hồi hộp ở trong tim. Sau bụi cây là nam tự cắt kẹo trên Lenin.
Our storage, our physical storage from our host system will be finished step by step. If we will choose the fixed size, it means when we create a virtual machine, the amount of memory for virtual hard disk will be put one time.
Chỉ còn 5 phút nữa. Nhét vội vừa vào trong cặp, nhét thêm cả hộp sữa, nhét vội miếng bánh mì vào mồm nó. Sắp một lớp học thêm, còn một nó thi đấu trường chuyên. Tối chủ nhật nó vẫn phải đến và phóng trên chiếc giấc mơ cũ. Dream của ông ngoài đời hiện tại là năm tháng này về đây. Bên ngoài tiếng con xe reo, bên trong tiếng bụng nó réo. Bỗng chiếc xe bên trái tạt đầu, hai bố con ngã theo và đường con rượu có tí biến. Tuy không có chấn thương nhưng từ ngữ vẫn thi triển là mẹ họ và cụ họ cộng thêm từ giao phối. Ông cũng sống hoảng sợ giúp chào nổ. Giờ tình liền chạy ra xem kéo theo ba bạn nước. Cậu đang mày nắm tay quyết chạy ra để xem được những tiếng chỉ nhau sẵn nổi tiếng breakbeat của
Just something like 22.
tình liền chạy ra xem kéo theo ba bạn nước. Cậu đang mày nắm tay quyết chạy ra để xem được những tiếng chỉ nhau sẵn nổi tiếng breakbeat của
Dynamic like 22.
tình liền chạy ra xem kéo theo ba bạn nước. Cậu đang mày nắm tay quyết chạy ra để xem được những tiếng chỉ nhau sẵn nổi tiếng breakbeat của
Dynamic like 22.
tình liền chạy ra xem kéo theo ba bạn nước. Cậu đang mày nắm tay quyết chạy ra để xem được những tiếng chỉ nhau sẵn nổi tiếng breakbeat của
Dynamic like 22. Create. And after that, our virtual machine platform was successfully created. But we have few additional steps, few additional settings to set up our virtual machine. Click right mouse button on the machine name and go to the settings. After that, system and processor. As you see, here you can choose what amount of cores, what kind of cores, processor CPU cores you can choose for this virtual machine. 2 cores is minimum amount for virtual machine, but if you have a lot of power, you can choose more. For example, 4 cores. And also, if you will choose 4 cores, click also enable PAE NX. It will also extend your machine power. After that, go to the display, and if you have old GPU, for example GeForce 6 series, 7 series, 8 series, you can just leave it 128 megabytes of the video memory. But if you have powerful GPU, for example GPU GeForce 1050, 1060, 1070, 1080, I recommend you to choose 4 gigabytes, the maximum amount. It will also speed up your virtual machine. Next settings is on the storage tab. If you use just serial ATA hard disk, leave it and do nothing. If you have SSD or M2 hard disk, in this case, I recommend you to use input-output cache. It will also add 15-20% of performance. After that, we will go to the audio. As you see, the default is Intel HD audio controller. In anti-detect, there is a special system which will randomize your audio fingerprint. And because of this randomization process in the virtual machine, you will not be able to hear the sound. So, for example, if you use anti-detect for for studying, for something like that, that means you need to be able to use the audio. So you can just switch from the Info HD audio to the ICH AC97. In this case, the real audio controller will be provided into your virtual machine, and you will be able to hear the sound. Also, if you need to interact with maybe some video chat, something like that, I also recommend you to turn on audio input. After that, you will be able to use the microphone. So, in our case, I will let the HD audio for randomizing of the audio fingerprints. The next settings is on the network tab. There is a few network adapters which we can choose. The first mode is which name is NAT. NAT is some kind of local network inside our computer. If we choose NAT, that means anti-detect, which is VirtualBox basic, will modify all of our packets, all of our internet traffic. So in this case, there is a problem. If you will use just regular VirtualBox, or anti-detect older version, not the OWASP, if somebody will use against you deep packet inspection tools, he can see that you are using VirtualBox. For example, some website, let it be some payment system. Some payment system use the DPI packet inspection, deep packet inspection, and they will see that you are using VirtualBox. So they can think that you are, some kind of cheater. So because of that, I have modified the NAT mode, and in the version OWASP, as you see on my screen, the NAT mode was modified, and all of the signature of the packets will be signed like ASUS router, just like ASUS Wi-Fi router. That means if somebody will use deep packet inspection against you, he will see only that you are using ASUS router, just like a real router on your home computer, and will not see the VirtualBox. So that's why, if you're just working with some kind of websites, you can just leave the NAT. The second mode is the anti-DPI net. What is it? Anti-DPI net is an internal network between few machines. Why we need to use it? For example, if you are trying to defeat Microsoft, if you need to use Edge, if you need to use Microsoft Store, you will not be able to change your IP address inside the virtual machine. You will not be able to use some kind of proxy or VPN or SSH tunnels, because operating system will always see your real DNS and always see your real IP address. That's why I have provided the anti-DPI net mode, in which we just take Unix architecture. There's an operating system which name is Unix. I recommend you to read the information about the system. So we create few machines. First is the machine which has access to the internet, and this machine is a gateway. In this virtual machine, we can just use simple proxyfier and change our IP address. But also, in this machine, we will use the anti-DPI net to create separate net between this virtual machine. We will name it like a gateway, In the virtual machine gateway, we change our IP by the proxifier and create separate net, anti-DPI net. This anti-DPI net will be connected to the second virtual machine, which is workstation. On the workstation machine, we have no access to the internet directly, and all of our internet access will be going through the gateway virtual machine. In this case, operating system or Windows services will not be able to see our real IP address, and they will see the IP address which we will choose in the gateway machine. So it's only for the Microsoft. So if you don't use the Microsoft services, you can just leave the NAT. And the third mode is the bridge adapter. For example, you can just create a network bridge to your directly to your Wi-Fi adapter, or your network card, if you need it. Some people need it to just spoofing geolocation, which is based on the network names, SSID, BSSID. But if you are just using simple websites, you just can leave the NAT. And the last option is the USB. As you see, by default we have a USB controller version number 1.1. But if we will try to use virtual USB controller version number 2.0 or 3.0, we will have an error, as you see. So we need to use the USB controller version 2.0 or 3.0. We need to install extension pack. Where we can find it? So we will just go to the browser, and after that we will go to the virtualbox.org. It's the official site of VirtualBox. My anti-detect is VirtualBox based, so we can use some tricks and tips from the VirtualBox. After that we will go to the Downloads tab, and we will need to find VirtualBox older builds, and simply click on this link. After that we need to select VirtualBox 5.2, click on it, and we need to find the VirtualBox version 5.2.2. There it is. As you see, released November 22, 2017. So here we see the link for the extension pack. Just click on it. As you can see, the file can be downloaded, extension pack can be downloaded. So just click OK. We'll wait for a few seconds. And if you are using this extension pack, you can also encrypt your virtual machine. You can use the RDP, direct access to the virtual machine. But in most of the cases, people use it to work with the USB. So download is finished. Just one click mouse. And now we will wait for a few seconds. Extension pack will detect our VirtualBox. We can close this window, and as you see here, there is an anti-detect question. Do we need to install the extension pack or not? We click install, go to the bottom of the license and click I agree. Okay, so now extension pack is successfully installed, and as we can see, we go to the settings, USB, and now we are able to use the virtual USB controller 2.0, 3.0. So if we need it, we can choose, but I will let the USB 1.1. Click OK. And so after that, our platform for the mothership system is successfully created, and we can start Windows installation process. After we finish creating the platform for our mothership system, we can go to the next step, to the Windows installation. So we will just select our V10 Eternal system and click Start. On this step, we must choose the image, Windows image file, where we can get it. I recommend to use official Microsoft operating system, which you can download from the Microsoft website. So what we need now, we just go to the browser, after that google.com, and just type here download Windows 10, and the first link is linked to the Microsoft.com. We click on it. I will now translate this page to the English. So we have two different options. The first option, we can download Microsoft Tool, which can also download Microsoft Image. But if you don't want to do this, I prefer to using the next thing. Just press on your keyboard F12 and you will see the developer console. In this developer console you can find this icon like tablet PC or mobile phone. Click on it, and as you see there is option in which you can choose, for example, viewing web page like iPad or iPhone. I will select iPhone 10. After that, refresh the page, and as you see, Microsoft allows us to directly download Windows image. So we will select the edition. I recommend to use the latest edition, Windows 10 May revision. The number of revision is 2004. Click on it and confirm. After that, we need to choose the language. I will show you, for example, I will create USA identity. So if you will work with, for example, French websites, please use French operating system. If you will work with German websites, please select German. It's very important because regional data is very important for the anti-fraud system. So in our case, in this video, I will use USA identity, so I will just select English and click confirm. Now we see the link for the 64-bit download Windows image. You can just save it, but I will not do this because I already have this image, and we just need to select it and click start. So now the Windows will be loaded. It will take around 10 or 15 seconds. We will see this black screen with a blinking cursor. Just wait, do nothing with it, and as you see, Windows is successfully loading. So we will wait. The installation process is not so hard. It's pretty simple, just like on the real PC, but there is a few additional options that we need to choose. First one, we need to use the scale for better viewing. So the first option, as you see here on the bottom in the virtual machine window, there is an icon with the two blue monitors. Just click right mouse button on it, and after that click on the connect network adapter. You see, those monitors was great. What was happening? The point is that we must install our operating system without an internet, because if we will install our operating system with the internet, on the step when we will choose our username, when our Windows identity will be created, our operating system will make a handshake with the Microsoft servers. Just like malware, just like in the botnet, our operating system will tell some Microsoft servers that, hey, I'm here, look at me. So we must do, we don't need to do this, because when this handshake procedure will be finished, some additional IDs will appear in our operating system, and we unfortunately cannot spoof these IDs in the future. So we will install the Windows without any internet, and we will turn on the internet in each clone. In this case, each clone will be created with the completely new identifier, so it will be okay. So let's start installation process. Just click next, install now. Hold on. Now click I don't have a product key. After that we need to select Windows 10 Pro with the N index, because Windows 10 Pro has additional settings, which we need to use. And the index N, that means some multimedia tools will be put from this operating system. So it's great for us, so we will choose Windows 10 Pro N. Click next. Click accept the license terms, click next, custom, and you see this our virtual hard disk drive. Click next, and the Windows installation successfully started. So we just need to wait a little bit. The installation speed depends from your hardware and from your hard disk. It takes around 5-7 minutes. So I will pause this video and we will be back when the installation process will be finished. So our operating system successfully finished install, and now we need to create our Windows user profile. So we just select the region United States, we did layout, so just select US and click yes. Additional keyboard layout.
Trước đi qua trong đâu?
Press skip. Now, because we are turning off the internet, we will just click I don't have an internet. And after that, continue with limited setup. Select the username, for example, it will be user. Click next. Click next. Don't set the password. Now Windows let us choose the privacy. It's some illusion. But we will turn off everything except the location service, because we will spoof location inside our operating system. Just turn it off, all of those switches. Click accept. We will not need to share device and activity history between devices. Click no. And we didn't use the Cortana. Click not now. So now the installation process and the user profile process will be finished, so we need to wait a little bit. So now, as we can see, our operating system was successfully installed, and we can go to the next step, to the Windows setup. After our Windows installation was finished, we need to a little bit our operating system to make it work. We have two steps. Step number one, we will tweak our Windows with the standard functions and standard settings.